All the expressions that you will be hearing in the following podcast are from its moderator. They have nothing to do with sponsors or anything that he could be affiliated or associated with. Now, with further ado, enjoy the Macedon podcast. Thank you, and greetings and welcome back. This is another edition of the Macedon podcast, the official 6th episode, even though it will split it on some of the lists and will say that it is the 7th episode, but it is the 6th episode, so welcome. Well, since we started back right here, we started back in the full podcast format, we have been discussing a lot of things. We have been discussing a lot of what is going on in the entertainment world, and we have made a vast coverage, I would say, about Game of Thrones, how it could end. We have made a couple of analyses, try to stay as spoiler-free as possible. And besides that, we made that same review with the MCU. Besides that, we have been talking about a lot of things. But in this podcast specifically, we're going to be talking about a certain topic that is not on the trending end. It is because it is like an analysis, an overall analysis on what is going on with the Puerto Rican music scene right now. And I'm going to be completely honest. It has been a really busy week. So let's say that research has not been the most key point that I had in the whole week. So it has been really hard. But this one is about entertainment as well. We have found some interesting things that are happening in the world of sports, and we're going to be talking about sports for the first time. So that's a first right there. So thank you very much. We're moving on. We're expanding, but don't expect like a huge talk on sports. You know, it's just that recently I'm so busy, between work and working on the podcast, doing the research, doing a lot of work, commuting, doing a lot of 100 things. And the thing is that even though I don't think to talk about sports so much, I could say I'm a fan of the NBA, and occasionally I'm a fan of the NFL, but a little bit on that later. But in the NBA, the thing is that it's not like I'm gonna be completely honest. It's not like I go through the entire season, watch every game, even those games that are like at 2 a.m. in the morning or something like that, because in Los Angeles it's way earlier or something, or let's just say games like 6 a.m. or 2 p.m. I'm not that into it, I'm gotta be completely honest. Watching, let's say you stay with a team, you have to watch, it's around like 82 to 89 games. And that's kind of exhausting, because even though you're watching the series, for example, series that you like, even though you get to the final episode and you're like 5 minutes later that I need more, and then you start like rehashing and going to all seasons, but it still happens today with TV. TV, we still have seasons that are made of 24 episodes. The thing is that in those 20 to 24 episodes, you tend to get tired. Imagine that being quadrupled. Okay, quadrupled. 82 to 89 games. So it's like I made like basic following rules. It's like I'm gonna give you the follow the NBA for dummies manual right now. So here's how I go. The thing is that sometimes I watch the first game of the entire season, and then I don't watch I don't even watch the All-Star game. I used to watch them when I was a kid in the 90s. I used to watch them, and that was like a tradition, like WrestleMania, for example. But I wasn't like going through the whole season. So what I did was that after the All-Star game, there were some tendencies. I started reaching out to the newspaper first to see the stats. How's it going? Who's going forward? Who's not? Who has been making a breakthrough? I started like reading a little bit on the side, like it's going here, going there. And recently, I've been so busy that we're almost at the final of each of the we're at the finals of also the East as well as the West Conference, and we're on their final points, almost to the whole finals of the NBA, and I haven't been like following. And the thing is that since Golden State, this was before Kevin Durant was on the team, I saw Golden State like this new franchise. This was like the Lakers with Kobe Bryant. Let's say, for example, the Lakers with Kobe Bryant, not to say the Bulls with Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, and it was when you have a dynasty, they keep winning the title. The star, Stephen Curry, he has been a little bit more human this season. We have to accept that. I've been seeing like a couple of games with with rolling my eyes or something. Like rolling my eyes to the side of NBA game. Oh, Stephen Curry. Oh, he missed a point. That's strange, but the thing is that he's an awesome player. I have to accept that the kid is awesome. He barely misses, and it's a great team overall. Even the bench, even if we can go beyond the regular team. But as I stated on the beginning, I'm not a sports commentator, so do not get me to start saying names of other people in the team that are not Stephen Curry or Kevin Durant. So that will not happen. But it's a great team. They work great with each other. They have quarters in which Kevin Durant doesn't play, and they nailed it and killed it. So you know that they're gonna be in the finals over and over and over again. And you see these moves like for example, the Lakers acquiring LeBron James, and that was like, okay, they're trying to build another franchise, so this will be the franchise that will be going against the other. But we have to remember that the Miami Heat tried this a long time ago when they have Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade, and LeBron James. And when they have those three, that trio was, like killing it. But when they build up they started with this trio, it wasn't like they went directly to the championship. It took them some time. It's a new team. They need to get used to be working with each other. There's different ground rules, different ways of training. You got a new star that is a huge star trying to adapt to this locker room that haven't been doing like really well since a really long time. And the thing is that they didn't even make it to the playoffs, so that's really bad because everyone was at least expecting that they made it to the playoff, that they didn't. So that really sucks. But that doesn't mean that the team does not have any hopes for the future. I think it's the beginning, and they will have to get used to playing with one another and getting used to develop that chemistry. As long as they develop that chemistry, I think that they will eventually, not in the next season, but 1, 2 years to 3 years, they could be doing something more that they did on this season, at least getting on the playoff or maybe on a conference finals. But time will tell. And this is a new build-up dream team. They are trying to rebuild the LA dynasty. So we will have to see, but once again, we got Golden State is already on the West Conference Finals, and we got the Milwaukee Bucks on the East Conference Finals, which was something that I found really curious because I remember that at one time after the Dallas Mavericks won the championship, JJ Barea, after that there was this scramble that a lot of players, they were like traded to other teams, and one of them was Puerto Rico's own JJ Barea, Jose Juan Barea, and he was traded to the Milwaukee Bucks. And when you started, when the stats of the Milwaukee Bucks as a team as a whole started surfacing up, and it was a real contrast to, well, not so big as the Dallas Mavericks, because they have done it. I think that time with J.J. Barea, I don't know, in the 70s, I think they pulled it off, but it was like a real long time ago. But they already established themselves with a championship. Something that I think Milwaukee has not done, at least on this phase, because we have to remember that the NBA, there was the NBA and the ABA, and there were like regional tournaments, and there were used to be a lot of teams. So what now is the Milwaukee Bucks could have won some championships. But then again, we go to the point of the beginning. I'm not a sports commentator. It's just that to me, that I grew up mostly on the 90s, that the Milwaukee Bucks were like the last standing team on the NBA, like ever. And seeing them on a conference finals, it picked up my curiosity, because I'm seeing like a real underdog, like Boston was a couple of years ago. Even though the late 80s, they were like this powerful dynasty and this really good, well-built team. The thing is that throughout the 90s, nothing happened. Throughout the beginning of the 2000s, nothing was like actually happening until the Miami Heat started disbanding its all-stars. LeBron went to Cleveland, Shaq went to Boston, and before that, Boston was already making some buzz. So, Boston to me was like a real underdog and a really hardworking team. So, when I saw the Milwaukee Bucks being on this year's conference finals, to me, something like really special, because we have finally an underdog. And in the other side of the bracket, I think it was Philadelphia. I don't remember if the other team was Brooklyn, but I mostly think it's Philadelphia. I think we got to check on that. I think we got technology on our side. So we're going to see here the playoff bracket of the NBA. Here on Mother's Day, okay. It's Milwaukee, and Milwaukee will face the winner between Toronto and Philadelphia. Philadelphia, the 76ers have been a team that I've been seeing a couple of highlights, and it has been like having a great breakthrough through this year. They defeated They defeated Brooklyn for 4-1. Toronto did the same thing with Orlando, of all teams. Indiana, Boston win, but Milwaukee defeated Boston, who was an underdog, and also for a couple of years who was one of these dynasties. And it's really amazing. On the other side, we got like everyone is like saying like whatever happens, Golden State is gonna win. But the thing is that the East is gonna pull off a real underdog. So that to me it's really a good a great move on part of the NBA that this is happening to them, because if they would have faced a team that is even more developed or about to become a dynasty, let's say, for example, like the Lakers are right now, it would have been like really boring. Like I think the whole Cleveland and Golden State thing got really boring really fast, even though they have these awesome players, because in the case of Cleveland, it wasn't only LeBron James, it was the whole team, but mostly it's led by LeBron James, but it was a good team, and when they play as a unit, it was really something awesome. The thing is that Milwaukee is on the conference finals, so that's something that needs to be watched on. And that is something that is really great, because whatever comes from the East side, it will be a true underdog. So even though if the odds are stuck against whoever wins the East Conference, which is the main prediction, the main popular opinion around there, I think it's going to be a great final. It's going to be a breather from most of the finals that we have been getting for the last like 6 to 10 years, I think, or especially the last 6 to 8 years. I would say probably that we haven't seen like these huge teams at the finals, and it's the idea, you have a team, you're gonna invest on it, so you were gonna see it on the finals. But in this case,